What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Andrew, and this week we have a special guest. We have a ball python here, and we're going to be talking about if ball pythons are actually a good and easy pet for you guys to keep. And Pebbles is going to help us out with that. I'm Andrew Edwards. I've spent most of my life learning about animals. And now, focusing on education, breeding, care, and the discovering of new animals. Welcome to Andrew's Reptile Arc. Ball pythons are one of the most common pet reptiles and pet snakes you can find in the industry. You can see this one is a specific morph, a yellow-bellied banana morph, and they don't normally come in this a little cautious. But this one is not that common of a morph of ball python. They normally come in a browny gray color. I might post a picture so you guys can see what a common morph looks like. But these guys literally come in hundreds of different morphs. From anything from albino to this color to a pattern of each, even a little bit white and a little bit of brown. And this snake comes from a friend of ours that was nice enough to let us do a video with them. Now, ball pythons are known for being very, very friendly. These guys are very docile and don't bite that often. When they're younger, they do sometimes bite, but that's mostly if they feel threatened or are just trying to get the food item that you're feeding them. And it's because they are so docile, that's what makes them one of the most popular pets in the reptile industry. As a whole, not just as pet snakes, they are the #1 pet snake. These guys are also up there with bearded dragons and leopard geckos. And you can see as he wraps his body around my hand, these guys are constrictors. Like most pythons, they bite their prey, wrap it up, and then squeeze. And then that's what chokes the life out of the food item, normally a rat or a mouse, and then they swallow it whole. And then they expand their throat, and it goes down into their stomach. He's a lot more active than I thought he was going to be. These guys are actually nocturnal, and they're only really out at night. But like all nocturnal species, you can play with them during the day. And a lot of people have a fear of snakes because they think they're slimy. They don't like the way they look because they don't have legs. But these guys are not slimy at all. They're very, very smooth. And you can see him using his little tail right there to lock onto my arm and kind of use it as a hook so that he can go all the way down without falling. And you can even see the back of him. Oh. There's his belly right there. You can see each individual scale right there. And we really don't have snakes here, so this is a very rare opportunity for us. And you can see he's right there on my hand. These guys are rarely scared of humans. And they get that name ball python from being wrapped up into a ball when they're scared or when they're sleeping. You can see him wrapping around my hand right here. This is a baby. Ball pythons can actually reach about 6 feet if that's a big female. Females get bigger than males. It's kind of weird, but normally males in most species get bigger than females. But in snakes, males are the ones that are smaller. And he is a boy, so this one will get to around 3 feet in length, maybe touch 3.5, but nothing too big compared to a female. And this guy's eating mostly mice and rats. And the beauty of having a pet snake is you don't have to feed them that often. Ball pythons do have a tendency to not be the best eaters. Oh, you can see him wrapping around the back of my hand right there. and using that tail to kind of lock into place. Oh. But these guys will eat once a week. That's what makes them awesome pets, is they don't need to be fed that often. Just put a water dish in there, and they have very slow metabolism, similar to a crocodilian, that they don't have to eat that often. I'm not being that loud, but snakes do not have ears, funny enough. As you can see on the sides of their head, they don't have any ears, so they rely mostly on vibrations and heat. You can see that tongue flicking out, and that's sensing everything, similar to a monitor lizards that we've covered in the past. They use that to detect prey, and they also have these little pits right on their mouth, and those are heat sensors. And that's really what's going to focus on a prey item, and once they see it, they're going to strike at it. Look at that awesome animal. These guys are fantastic pets. I can't really tell you of another snake species that's this good. Maybe a corn snake. Corn snakes are very good pets as well. They get a lot longer normally than ball pythons, but they're a lot thinner. You can see how meaty this guy is. Really, a corn snake is not going to get much meatier than this, even as an adult. And look at that right there. He's about 16 inches long, so he has a lot of growing up to do. But snakes are something we really don't cover on this channel. That's why I wanted to have this opportunity. Look at that. Amazing. And even as a baby, they're pretty calm. In the wild, these guys will eat rodents, maybe some birds, frogs even. You can see how active he is, though. And there's his little tail wrapped around my finger. And snakes actually do have tails. You can see where it gets a little thinner. That's a snake's tail. A lot of people don't know that once it... Oh, you didn't like that. Once the tail, or once the meatier part of the body stops, and that little tail, that's what's the remains or the remnant of a tail when they used to share similar ancestors to lizards. Obviously, they've lost their limbs, but they still have that little tail. Oh. Now, he is new to me, so I'm a little cautious about him. I don't really want to scare him all that much. Oh, look at that. I love the pattern. But amazing animals. Great pets, and obviously pretty active. When you pull them out, when they're in the cage, they're not as active, except at night, obviously. During the day, this is a pretty active snake. If you guys are interested in a pet snake, I highly recommend a ball python. They are very nice. They're docile, stay to a more manageable size. You don't want to get one that's grows to like 10 feet. If you guys don't have the space, these guys can live in 40-gallon tanks. I don't really like the idea of keeping them in a drawer or like a snake rack. I've never really been a fan of that. If you guys have that and you're breeding them, go ahead. I just like looking at my animal all the time, so that's why we keep them in more glass enclosures. So you can kind of see them at night. You can see the cage decorated during the day, and it's not just in a drawer. But they stay a more manageable size, like I was saying. They really only eat once a week, maybe a little less. So they do require not that much food compared to a lizard, let's say. And look at that. Just so calm, just going through my hands. Not even that scared. But I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other channels, Instagram and TikTok. And I will see you guys in the next video. See ya.